Hi everyone. One council member just started to mow the lawn, so I hope he'll be done soon. Hi everyone. Let's see if my mic is working. Seems to be the case. Do let me know. Haven't done this in a while. I'm just going to be sharing the link in a couple places. Oh, hey! Hello. Vero says, yes, it's working. Hi, Vero. We can hear you and don't hear the council worker. Amazing. Hi, Mel. Yay, I'm awake for this. Yeah, okay, so I fell in a rabbit hole and I got this idea from a YouTube channel that I follow. Oh, where's the cap for this? That's dangerous. I've spilled, so the knit is spelled as knit. Hi, Chris. And she did Reddit Storytime and I was hooked. So if you don't know, there are Reddit is a kind of a forum website where people share stories, or there are Reddit forums on everything and anything. And there is this forum called Am I the Asshole? I'm not even sure if I should say that on YouTube. Maybe I should start saying a-hole. And people share their stories because they're genuinely confused and ask people to decide, am I the a-hole, yes or no? And there are some really fun stories. Hi Yvonne, hi Natasha, nice to see you. Yes, I haven't been doing the lives so much, and it's kind of embarrassing because I've been taking this new anxiety medication, right? And my eyes get so puffy, so I look like I've been crying or sleeping 24/7. I'm not. I'm doing okay. I'm doing really good, but I've just been so embarrassed that I don't know. And it's not just my eyes. My whole face it feels like it's swelling up. So I hope that it will go away in time. But that has mostly been the reason. I've just not felt confident enough. And I know it's silly, and it probably doesn't even, people don't even see it probably. So I feel kind of, yeah. Anyway, and I also need some extra distraction today because we have been busy house hunting here in Scotland, and we put an offer in on a house, and we will hear about it hopefully by the end of the day. And I just feel very excited but also very nervous. I know we're probably not gonna get it, so I wanted to distract myself. So hello. So let me see if this works. Probably still does. I tried it just the other day. I had to update it, but as long as there is no new update, we should be good. With update, I mean for all the software that I use. There we go. I am working on a brioche shawl. Hello. It's single color, but I'm using several colors that I'm striping so that it kind of seems like a fade, which I'm really enjoying at the moment. And I'm just gonna see how I set this up. We don't care if you have puffy eyes. Thank you. Thank you. Right. So I think I can probably do it like this. I just have to get going with my knitting. How do I do this again? Move that back. And now I can start brioche. Yep. Not actually sure if I can do this while reading, so we're gonna have to see. Yeah, but other than that, other than, you know, house stress and anxiety medication, you know, getting used to it, other than that, it has been going really well. And yeah, very excited for the Scottish Yarn Festival that is happening on Saturday. Yeah, I'm very excited for that. I've ordered a proper banner, like a roller banner, and it looks very professional. I've ordered some bookmarks that I can hand out, and I'm just gonna have fun and be there. Yeah, very excited for that. Right, so shall we get going with the first story? So, I do have to preface this by saying a lot of these Am I the A-hole stories are fake, are made up, a lot of them. So, and I haven't read them yet, the ones that I'm going to read to you today. So who knows? But usually they are very fun. So yeah, I am really not sure if I can read while doing this. I mean, knit while reading. So we will see. Where is the chat? I want to see the chat as well. Okay, first story. Am I the a-hole for not teaching my friend to crochet? This is a story from a month ago. For context, I, 19 female, crochet at markets with my friend, 18 female, who makes pottery. We share a booth at our local art fair every year to save money, as we are both in college. We do this every year so she knows what I make. The problem started when, after this year's art fair, she came to me and asked to help her learn. At first I said yes, because I don't have any other crochet friends. She seemed excited to learn, so I didn't think much of it. But then she started sending me pictures of patterns she had bought to sell at the art fair. And lo and behold, they were the same exact patterns I make for the art fair year after year. Okay. I tried to talk to her about it, and her only response was that since I'm a more advanced crocheter, I can make new stuff. According to her, she has claimed those projects for this year, and I can make something else. I didn't actually teach her to crochet yet, so I don't know why she's trying to claim patterns. She doesn't know even if she likes it yet. Okay, so we're not sure if she has actually tried crocheting those patterns yet. To wrap up quickly, I told her I wasn't teaching her, and if she wanted to learn to use YouTube. She called me a bunch of bad things I will not put here, and told me I could pay for the art booth myself. Am I the a-hole? What do we think? So 2 friends have an art booth. One sells pottery, one sells crochet items. The pottery friend wants to learn learn to make crochet items as well, and has created a bunch of patterns that, according to the original poster, so this is on Reddit, it's called OP, the person who posted it. According to the OP, they were the exact same patterns. So, let's see at a couple of the comments. OPS offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I told my friend I wouldn't teach her to crochet anymore. Yeah, she said I was an a-hole for not helping a friend. Was her pottery unsuccessful, says Mel. Ooh, that's actually... I don't know, but... Oh, let's see. It doesn't say anything about if the crochet was unsuccessful, if the pottery was unsuccessful or not. Someone says, not the a-hole, so your friend asks you to teach her how to make your best-selling items so she can directly compete with you while paying half of her booth rent. Is that correct? I don't think the OP has responded to any of these. But the overall opinion is not the a-hole. Sounds like you need a private booth. Sorry it went down this way. Yeah, I'm not even sure what I would do in this situation. I think I would still teach the friend to crochet because I like teaching people to crochet. But then I'm not too shy to, I would tell her like, hey, those are my patterns. You're not doing that. But at the same time, I mean, I also create patterns, and some patterns I would be okay with people making for craft fairs. I think it would be okay if the friend crocheted them and gave the original creator some credit for it, because OP could also look at it as having an employee besides her for her crochet stuff. Not the a-hole, that is some entitlement. I'm going to learn your hobby and make exactly what you make for the exact event you use to make yourself a little money everywhere, and you're gonna teach me how to do it. Yeah, exactly, if you put it down like that. Yeah. I don't know. It depends on how good of a friend you are with this person. Yeah. What would you do? Right, let's move on to a second story. This one. So you haven't read any of these. Am I the a-hole for asking my neighbor to move her craft room to a different bedroom? Seems like a very backstabbing move. Yeah, but the market one. Yeah. Okay, so I'm very intrigued about this one. Am I the a-hole for asking my neighbor to move her craft room to a different bedroom? My husband and I live in an upstairs 3-bedroom flat, and the flat below us is the same layout. The house has been for sale for a while. Okay, the flat below them has been for sale for a while, and recently a woman bought it. Turns out she doesn't have any children. Okay, so I found it strange she bought a 3-bedroom house. Okay, well, it's not really your business. But I soon found out it's because she runs a craft business from home and needs 2 bedrooms to run it. The problem is, unfortunately, she has decided to use the main bedroom as her craft room, which is below us. Okay. At first it was fine, as she hadn't fully moved in, But now it's driving me crazy. She's in that room almost all day. I can hear her walking about and the faint noise of machines. I don't spend long in my bedroom during the day, but when I do go in, it just annoys me knowing she's there constantly. Oh boy, seems like OP needs to move. Sorry, I thought I dropped a stitch. It just annoys me knowing she's there constantly. Like, why can't she have picked the smaller bedrooms since she knows the kids are at school all day? She always stops using her embroidery and sewing machines by 7 p.m. But she told me she can't sit up until 10 p.m. some nights, finishing off orders, which plays on my mind. Camera just cut out. There. I go to bed at 9 p.m. and I can't sleep for hours as I lie there listening for her every move. Stalker alert. Just knowing she's awake and walking about drives me crazy. Honestly, is this real? As I find it so selfish, someone would buy a flat and work from home. Honestly. Hello, Crafty Karen. Wow, I thought this would be in the middle of the night problem. Exactly, but the story isn't finished just yet, so it might be. Oh, my husband says he can barely hear a thing. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Sorry, suspense. He can barely hear a thing during the day, and I need to calm down. He also doesn't see the big deal about her using her house as she pleases. Exactly. Very good thinking, husband. Yesterday, I finally had enough and went to her door. I told her how I was feeling about everything and how I can hear the faint noise of her machines. Like, honestly, sewing machines may be loud, but if it's during the day. I told her how I was feeling about everything, how I can hear the faint noise of her machines. She apologized and invited me inside to show me her setup. All her machines are on some sort of anti-vibration padding to stop as much noise as possible. So she claims the noise should be minimal and that you need to expect some noise from neighbors. I told her I don't make any noise, and that's when things took a turn, as she said she can hear my kids running around and jumping off furniture all evening. But she would never dream of complaining because it's just one of those things when you share a building with other people. Sounds very reasonable. I left before I said anything else I regretted and thought that was the end of it. But today my husband came home from working overnight and asked if I had said anything to the woman downstairs, as she was very cold and blunt with him when he said hello. I told him what happened, and he said I'm a massive a-hole. I've spoken to a couple of my friends who think I've handled this completely wrong, and I'm a bit of an a-hole for it, but I don't see what else I could have done. Oh my god. Just that part. I find it so selfish that someone would buy a flat and work from home. Is she serious? This was 3 years ago, so this was 2021. So yeah, it was the second year of the pandemic. People were working from home anyway. But yeah, anyone can do whatever they want. Unbelievable. Yeah, exactly. Oh, hi, Miranda. Miranda's in the office today. We'll be rewatching the stream tonight. Okay. Have fun when you rewatch. Crafty Karen says, wow, she is super considerate about noise. This woman is really like the downstairs neighbor, the craft lady. She is considerate, yeah. Oh my goodness. Natasha says Opie needs to buy her own house and no longer live in a flat. Yes, that's what I think as well. If you're, I mean, I get it. I don't want to hear noise as well, but that's why we are looking for some place to live without any neighbors. Um, yeah, not because I'm antisocial, just because, you know, I want my privacy and I want to be social when I choose to be and not whenever the neighbor is outside and I might not go out into the garden that day. Anyway, let's look at some of the comments. Oops. Just need to refocus. There we go. Can we also acknowledge that OP doesn't even like the idea that their neighbor is awake and using their flat? Yes, that part. I'm sorry, what? OP, if you have issues with the mere thought of people living in the space they pay for, maybe you should save up for a single family home so that you aren't disturbed by people being alive around you. Exactly, and it seems like, you know, in the beginning she said she doesn't even have children. As if, you know, as if all people need to have children. Someone says, wow, play some music or get a white noise machine. The fact you know what times she does things is creepy. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. I mean, you know, we can hear the washing machine as well when the neighbors do the wash, or, you know, sometimes we hear radio, but, you know, that's just normal. You're the a-hole. Yes, a single childless woman can buy as big of a house as she pleases. Yes, she can use the rooms however she wants with the confines of any HOA rules. That's some kind of like apartment association, I think. Yes, your children probably make far more of a ruckus than her machines. Yeah. Have you considered getting anti-vibration padding for them? Yes, you have too much time on your hands if you're constantly obsessing about her crafting. You need to go downstairs and apologize to her, then ask for tips on picking up a hobby. You definitely need one, and she sounds like an expert. Right. Oh, it's homeowner association. Right. Thank you, Mel. Hutje op de hei. Yeah, she needs her, like, how would you say this? What's that typical romantic countryside 1950s American show? Where at the end of the show they say, "Good night, Mom. Good night, Dad." Prairie? Something prairie. Help me. Cabin in the Woods. No, that's a horror movie, I think. Hi, Rima. How are you? I'd much rather have a crafting neighbor than a neighbor with loud kids. Yeah. The Waltons. Yes. Maybe Little House on the Prairie. Yeah. That's, you know, she needs to move there if she doesn't want any childless women coming to haunt her with sewing machines. Sounds like a dream, actually. Oh, am I messing up here? It's fine. It's a piece with mohair. You don't see any mistakes. Right. Another comment. You're the a-hole. You can't be serious. It's her house. She's doing everything possible to be considerate. I can't actually fathom that you complained about this without realizing kids make a shirt ton of noise. Honestly, at a loss to why you would remotely think this was a reasonable thing to ask a neighbor. Yes. This is the most neurotic thing I've read today. She shuts her machines off at 7 p.m., but you still lie awake fretting about the fact that she's still awake. Yeah. Get a grip. Okay, the comments are savage. Put some rugs on your floor. That's a good suggestion. Or hang some heavy curtains or something. Gee whiz, she's not even being noisy. Yeah. Wondering if anyone says not the a-hole. No, everyone says it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I hope I never get a neighbor like that. Ooh. Okay. Next story. I've only read the titles of things, so I'm very interested about reading this one. The title is Am I the A-hole for rubbing a skein of yarn against my cheek in a store? And the first couple of words just are hilarious to me. I, 38 female, no makeup, went into a yarn store today with my parents while on holiday. And the lady behind the counter asked if we need help, and my dad said they just want to see what they're missing out on. What? Oh, because my mom loves to knit and has so many different yarns at home that she really doesn't need to buy new skeins. Okay. The yarns were really gorgeous, and my mom has knitted me a sweater recently, but there were all sorts of special colors and textures in the store of alpaca and silk blends. And merino and cashmere, and I was touching different skeins and occasionally rubbing them against my cheek to see if they would how they would feel if they were going to be a sweater pulled over my head. I have some sensory issues with wool, sometimes being too itchy if it's against my skin, and so I was putting them up to my cheek to see if they felt soft or scratchy. Ugh. I mean, I'm already thinking like, no, you shouldn't be doing that. I don't know. I don't know. I've done this throughout my life and never really thought about it. My mom often looks at the colors I'm holding up and decides if she thinks it's a nice color for me or not. We were talking about her potentially making me a blanket, but we're leaning away from that. And all of a sudden, as I took one of the skeins to my cheek, the woman working at the store said, "Please don't do that. Other people will have to buy it, you know." Exactly. And I wouldn't like the idea of someone, you know. Okay, I tried to explain that my cheek is more sensitive, and she said, "The back of your hand should be enough, other people will buy it." I felt humiliated and quickly left the store. I was genuinely browsing the yarn. I could have bought wool with my mom so she could knit me something, and we're not poor. What does that have to do with anything? So we could have afforded the yarns there, but she seemed to imply that I was just wasting her time. No, I think there's a bit more nuance there. But when I thought more about it, I think what felt humiliating was the idea that my cheek was contaminating the yarn. Yeah, like with your skin oil and skin cells. Like people try on clothes in stores all the time. That is true, but I think it's a well-known fact that clothing in stores are absolutely filthy. And I've never thought, oh, someone else's skin has been in this sweater before I bought it. It's not new anymore. And I guess I'm wondering now if my cheek cells have somehow ruined this yarn for a future purchaser. I think special yarns specifically tend to have a little natural oil on them anyway, because they're wool, but maybe I'm just ignorant and I have been ruining future knitting projects and making it harder to sell skeins of yarn at lots of stores. Am I the a-hole here, or was she inappropriate? Interesting. Crafty Karen says, "This reminds me of this YouTuber knitter guy that told a story of a woman sitting next to him on an airplane that also rubbed his yarn on her face." Boundaries. Yeah, exactly. But then it's more, I think it's more clear in that situation because it's someone's personal item. So yeah, that was definitely crossing boundaries. What do we think about this lady in the store? I think I have definitely done this before I realized, oh, this actually might not be very nice. I think I can remember a store having this sign up. It's okay to feel it against your neck, but not your face. I think that's what they had in the store. But also, I mean, post-COVID times, I think we should just be mindful about, you know, germs spreading everywhere. Someone says, I understand the lady. The difference to a sweater you buy in the shop is that even if other people have bought it, you bring it home and wash it. The yarn someone sits and works with and can therefore be seen as less hygienic. Yeah, you typically don't wash the yarn before you work with it. I know I wouldn't like it at all. Yeah. You're the a-hole. Other people don't know if your skin is clean or not, or if you have something contagious. And no, specialty yarns don't have a little natural oil in them. Well, I mean, unprocessed wool yarns definitely have lanolin, but even if they did, that is not an excuse to rub your face on the yarn. Yes. Yeah. As a knitter who tries to buy from brick and mortar stores, that's gross. I don't want to buy a yarn that's been rubbed on your face. Yes, you're the a-hole. Don't rub yourself on things that don't belong to you. That's just so funny. Natasha says, I kind of understand wanting to test the yarn on your skin if you're sensitive to wool. Yeah. But also, if you're sensitive to some wools, you would remember which wools work for you or don't. Yes, exactly. You would only need to do it once. And I mean, sometimes you can totally feel with your hands. And even like excessive feeling with hands. I mean, it's kind of acceptable, but Chris says, I don't like it. People sweat and also use perfume. Yeah. Mel says, I think hands are much dirtier than faces. That is also, yeah, I was just thinking about that. And I've also seen some signs at Dutch craft stores. Kijk doe je met je ogen. You look with your eyes, not your hands. But I think that's more common in, you know, pottery and when they are selling breakable stuff. You're the a-hole. No one wants your body oils or whatever is on your face. You have fingers with 20 times the nerve endings as your cheek. I'm glad she told you to cut it out and you should have left. Stop being so entitled and so difficult. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but yeah. Be considerate of other people. I also know of some stores. Okay, I know of one store where they have per yarn range and per color, they have one ball out for people to touch and whatever, and kind of like a tester for if you're buying makeup. Like they have one tester ball that you can touch and squeeze and whatever, and then if you want to buy a couple balls or skeins of that, then they take out new skeins for you, which I think is a happy medium and also makes you realize how many people touch their faces to the yarn. Right. Okay, next story. Am I the a-hole for knitting a sweater while watching a movie with my in-laws? Interesting. I already have an opinion based on the title. Mel says, I like places that have swatches knit up to feel. Oh yeah, that's really clever. that's a good solution as well. So next story, am I the a-hole for knitting a sweater while watching a movie with my in-laws? So I was hanging out with my in-laws at their big modern cabin last week. It was about 20 people. What? This past week. It was about 20 people total through the week, not all at the same time. Okay. So it was a little crowded at times. One evening we were all going to sit and watch a movie, so I figured it was a good time for me to work on one of my sweaters. Yes, great idea. For knitters who will understand, it's a top-down raglan and I'm at the body of the sweater, so it's angleless stockinette on circular needles. Yeah, exactly. It's mindless knitting. The lawnmower has restarted. With a color change for the ribbing, which I wouldn't have gotten to during the movie. It's not a very involved project where I need to keep count, and I've been knitting for eons, so I don't look at my needles for basic stockinette. However, my mother-in-law, it's always the mother-in-law, my mother-in-law got annoyed at me for knitting during the movie. I wasn't in her line of vision, but when she looked over after scanning the room, she scowled. After the movie, oh, where's the rest? Where's the rest? Wait. Okay. How come I can't see this? Okay. I have to make the screen a little bigger. After the movie, she asked me why I was knitting when we were watching a movie. I said that I watched the movie. I was just doing something with my hands. She scowled again and said that it was rude for me to just go off and do my own thing the whole time. I really didn't know what to say, so I just said, okay, creative, right? And went to the bedroom. My husband was already getting ready for bed, so I brought it up to him and he said I can just ignore her. She's just being controlling. Am I wrong here? No, absolutely not. People need to realize that knitting is a multitasking thing. Not the a-hole. I crochet through anything. I pay better attention to the movie when doing something with my hands. She's just being difficult. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't think in the past 10 years, well, no, that's exaggerating, but I very rarely not knit while watching a movie. I mean, that's like 2 hours of knitting time. How could you not knit? And especially if you have something mindless to do, such as knitting a sock or knitting the body of a sweater. Yeah. Someone says mother-in-law wanted to pick a fight with someone, that's all. Yeah, exactly. A lot of these Am I the A-hole stories on Reddit is about non-crafters thinking that crafters cannot pay attention to them while crafting, and they're feeling upset or neglected, while, you know, really it's, yeah, not that deep. Mel says, only issue I would see was if the needles were clicking constantly. Yeah, I do get that. But, like, at the same time, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, someone else says this as well. Literally, the only objection I could see as a valid, um, as as a valid objection here would involve noise. Where you clink, clink, clink with the needles the whole time, or can you knit silently? Yeah, and I mean, these are pretty silent. But sure, I mean, you can see it probably in your peripheral vision, but not the a-hole. I can't just sit and stare at a TV. I need to be doing something with my hands, so that usually I am doing some type of needlepoint, crochet, etc. My mom would watch TV while knitting and reading. Oh, sorry. My mom would watch TV while knitting and reading at the same time. Sorry, but you can't watch TV and read a book. Can you? I haven't mastered adding reading to the mix. Well, yeah, exactly. I see no problem with knitting while watching TV. You can still keep up with both and hold a conversation too. Yeah. I brought my knitting to a cousin's birthday once, and her boyfriend said to me, "Wow, are you on such a tight deadline that you even bring your knitting to birthday parties?" But I don't know, I was with family, and I can pay attention to whatever you're saying. um, but I do get that, with I do get it with people that don't know me a lot. I tend to only knit with people who I know, who I've, been hanging out with for a while. Mel says, I can read while the TV is on as my vision is poor, so I can't see the TV well. Yeah, but are you trying to follow a TV show as well as reading your book? That's what I mean. Crafty Karen says, I certainly can't. I know if I'm reading something on my phone, I don't take in what I'm watching as well. Yeah. But, crocheting or knitting or any type of craft is definitely okay while watching a movie. Especially if it's like in a group setting. Like, yeah. I think it's fairly obvious that OP is not the a-hole here. Yeah, but I paid more attention to the TV when show was interesting. Oh, okay. Okay, well, props to you. I can't do that yet. Right, next story. Okay, this is an interesting one. Why can't I see the entire post? Okay. Am I the a-hole for being surprised at how much my girlfriend sells her hobby craft for? Interesting. I, 33 male, and my girlfriend, 27 female, have been living together for about a year, together for 2. Okay? Since we've been together, she's always had this hobby of making dice for TTRPGs. Okay, so it's making dice. I just searched for craft, so this one isn't fiber related, but so TTRPGs is like tabletop RPG games such as Dungeons and Dragons. You often have like really fancy dice for that, and that's what his girlfriend makes. I don't really understand how it works because I'm not into it, but the dice she makes are beautiful even to someone who doesn't understand. She's always sold them. She takes a long weekend every fortnight and mass produces 20 or so full sets. and she then sells them. They always sell out pretty much instantly, and I knew she made money, but not how much. And to be honest, I don't really care as long as she pays half of her bills, which she always does. Okay, that's part one. Unfortunately, okay, after making them this past weekend, she broke her wrist. Oh no! And she needed help to put her listings up because she can't type well. I found out that she sells them for 100 to 115 pounds. Okay, for a set of dice. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too well versed in this world, so I don't know. I expressed my surprise that people spent that much on these things. She was offended, and I tried to explain that I didn't mean it like that, and I just don't understand why people spend that amount of money on things like this. It wasn't supposed to be an insult at her artistry. She was upset, and ended up asking someone else to help her and express how hurt she was because she worked so hard on them. She hasn't been silent as such, but definitely withdrawn, and things aren't the same. Oh, that's too bad. I can tell she's upset with me, and her sister keeps calling me a dick. Am I the a-hole here? Edited to add. For everyone asking for a link, I will ask if she's comfortable with me sharing that on here later tonight. Okay. Okay, what do we think? I think it was just genuine surprise. It's such a specific product. And I think I was surprised too. £100 for a set of dice? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would be surprised too, and that's not to say that, that she doesn't put in enough effort or something, that it's not worth that. It's just, Someone says, I'm going with not the a-hole. I totally understand what you meant. I can't understand people paying hundreds of dollars for Legos. It's nothing I've ever cared about. Same with concerts. I'm not a huge music person, so spending a ton of money to go to a concert seems bizarre and wasteful to me. Yeah, it's just like it's just personal preference and what people would like to pay for it. That doesn't mean I don't recognize singers' talent as artists or that Legos can be amazing. It just means I don't get it. I think your girlfriend is insulted because she feels you were saying you don't think her dice were worth the cost, not that you were surprised people would spend that much on dice. She feels insulted, and her feelings are valid as well. Maybe try to find an analogy, something she doesn't see value in but can be very expensive for those that do. Oh yeah, that's a very valid point. Sounds like Mel says, sounds like this might have been a triggering phrase for her. Yeah, because I definitely get defensive about my crafts, and having been on a market, I can imagine that his girlfriend has maybe been on a market with her dice on an event which maybe was not specifically for this, so you would get people who don't really know about it, and yeah, that's just really, that can really hurt. I've been on a market, and especially older people would come by my stall and just be appalled at the prices, even though I wasn't I wasn't asking a lot, like €6 for a hand crocheted bird. That's yeah. Natasha says, I think they are pricey, but if she's selling them, there clearly is a market for them, and we don't know exactly what they look like. it doesn't make him an a-hole. Yeah, exactly. And I've seen some dice. So TTRPG dice. I've seen some dice. I've seen yeah, I've seen dice that go for like £100. And it was just one, or was it a set? I'm not sure. I've seen some beautiful dice sets, and I don't even play this game, and I wanted to have them. But yeah, there is definitely a market for it. Let's see if I can find an example. Here's a set for £30. No, but I've definitely seen them for like £99. Sharp edge resin dice. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna try search for the exact thing, but lawnmower again. But I know for sure there are dice that are that expensive, and you know, it's just if you put a lot of effort into your tabletop games, you can make things as intricate or as easy and cheap as you want. So yeah. Okay. Last story of the day before I really need to go do something else. I'm teaching a brioche workshop on Monday, and I need to finish writing the pattern file. If you want to join, by the way, I'm teaching it online on Zoom, and it's open to all of my Patreon supporters. So if you want to follow a brioche workshop for just €6, because that's the cost of the Patreon subscription roughly per month, and first 7 days are free. So if you join today, you can follow the workshop for free. Anyway, last story of the day. Am I the a-hole for demanding to be a partner in my wife's business? Okay. Long-time reader, first-time poster, keeping it vague for anonymity. Okay. During COVID, my wife took up crafting and has become quite good at it. Good for her. She makes beautiful creations. We've talked in general terms about setting up a business or renting a table at a craft show to sell her goods. But didn't take any concrete action until recently. One day, my wife was commenting on how she wished she could do her crafts as a full-time job. I decided to surprise her and registered her preferred domain name, and over the course of a couple weeks, secretly built her an online store. That is really sweet. But also, I don't know. Okay, I showed her the store and things got real very quickly. Okay, so she liked it. This is not the thing. We built a business plan, spent several $1,000s of joint funds in startup costs. How? For machinery, maybe? You definitely don't need thousands of dollars to set up a craft business. Have been actively pursuing sales. I mean, except for like tables at craft shows and stuff. Anywho, several $1,000s of joint funds and startup costs, and have been actively pursuing sales with some early success and positive feedback. It is early days and we are not yet profitable. I am involved in all aspects of the business. Procurement, whoa, that's a fancy term. Procurement, sales, marketing, fulfillment, except design and production. I've also happily taken on more of the housework so she has time to create products. Oh boy. Okay. Over the last few days, my wife has gotten very territorial and cringes when I talk about our business. At times, she actively tries to correct me and insists it is her business. She sees my role somewhere between an employee and what is expected of a supportive husband. I get it. This business is her dream that I was helping her realize. I don't want to overstep, and I've reassured her that she is CEO and gets final say over all aspects of the business, but that I am still a co-founder and owner. Oh, this feels a little weird. I feel like the... Oh, where am I? There. I feel like the recognition that this is a joint business is important, given the amount of time and energy we are both investing into it. This is a journey we are both doing together. Oops. Okay, just needed to focus on my knitting. It's a journey we are doing together, life partners and business partners. Her dream has become my dream. Here's where I may be the a-hole. My wife continues to be protective, and I told my wife that unless she accepts me as a partner, let's say 49%, I will find other ways to support her, but won't be working on the business. There's too much work for one person to do, and I am afraid of sabotaging the business by ceasing work. She's given me half-ass answers that she appreciates my support but won't say the magic words she considers me as a business partner. Am I overstepping? Am I the a-hole? Summary, I help my wife start a business. I may be an a-hole for refusing to work on the business because my wife refuses to recognize me as a business partner. Okay, my first thought here is that the wife may be hesitant to call him a business owner because it might influence their relationship. My boyfriend has always been very supportive of me and my business, but you know, he doesn't do any work in the business, but he definitely supports me when I have a difficult time. He'll do more things around the house. He'll drive me to shows sometimes. Yeah. But it's a different situation because I don't need him to work in my business. But I feel like if there was something he could do in the business, I don't know, on the one hand, it would be very nice to work together in the business, but on the other hand, it could like create tension because it's, you know, it's work. Crafty Karen says, I feel like they're both not very nice to each other. Yeah, I mean, all of these Reddit stories, they have a verdict, and whereas for the previous stories, we all had a very clear verdict of yes, you're the a-hole, or no, you're not the a-hole. The verdict in this one is everyone sucks. Which, yeah. Someone says, everyone sucks here. You are assuming ownership of an entity you were not invited to own. Your partner is exploiting the labor of a third party, you, without fair compensation. Yes. Yes. You are entitled to an ownership stake, considering the effort you've put in, but you're grossly overstepping assuming it. Your wife's casual dismissal of the value of your contribution is ungrateful, naive, and exploitive. Or is it exploitative? I don't know. You both should have hashed this out first. And then, yeah. Someone says, you're the a-hole. You used a surprise to shoehorn yourself into her project not okay. Your surprise was in no way a gift. It actually meant that you were going to claim half ownership, and you never should have presented finished things to her as a means to demand ownership. That is also true. Ownership and respective job roles should have been discussed in advance of any work, and you circumvented that and demanded partnership based on work she did not ask you for. Yeah, it's difficult, and I feel yeah. I don't know. I just think like, oh, this is such an American thing. Am I wrong in thinking that? Because like ownership of a, yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're definitely American. I don't know. I have had friends help out in my business. I mean, I've had them be models in my book. I've had my mom help me with shipping of my book. And I've had help at market stalls. But honestly, it's a different situation. They needed more open communication. Yeah. Natasha says, sounds like his wife was enjoying her hobby and maybe wanted to monetize it on her own pace, and he took the decision and pace away from her. Yes. He fast forwarded. And yeah. And I was thinking the part where he mentioned, you know, he got the domain name, he built this website. And I thought that was going to be the difficult thing, because that's something that I would be like, what? You bought a domain with my business name in your name for me. Yeah. At the same time, it's very sweet to really support what your partner is doing. And it's I always like, you know, family owned businesses, but it can become really sticky fast. The secret starting up of the company and web store was a bit of a red flag for me too. I don't think I would have appreciated that, but then again, I was a web developer, so that's different. Yeah. If it was truly a surprise and gift, let her own the business completely, but gradually step aside of it. Yeah, but I feel like at that point they should have had a conversation, because after that he started to work in the business and they invested joint funds in it. It's too bad that they're being so vague, which I get. He doesn't want to be found, but we don't even know what it is. Is it a candle making business? Is it selling gift cards? Is it t-shirts? I don't know. He says he's not involved in production, so I don't know. Maybe it's a project bag sewing. Yeah. Someone asks, why is it so important to you to own almost half a company built on her creative or artistic skills? Why didn't you tell her that if you helped, you wanted to take half the company before now? If you told her before you made the investment and you made yourself indispensable, she would have been able to fairly choose. But now you have huge leverage over her. That is true. It kind of feels like a trick almost. Like they invested thousands of joint funds. Yeah, that part I just can't really get over. But they've had success, you know. At least that's going well. I sort of have the feeling that he wants to claim this business in case they break up. Because if their relationship is going well, then it would not matter if he was part of the business or not. you know, all of the profits would be their joint funds. But I have a feeling that he's suspecting to break up. And that he wants some entitlement over it. Be right back, moving to the couch. Okay. That was my thought too, angling for a breakup. Oh, yeah, it's so... Someone says, you're not the a-hole. I was in this exact situation many years ago. Me being an artist, boyfriend sees potential, he builds a website, budgeting, etc. At first, I was very grateful for his surprise, but then his help started to become a burden, meaning it felt I had to obey to his ideas and overwhelming, constant look over my shoulders. Oh, that's icky. When I never ever even had asked for help in the first place, his help became, if it wasn't for me, she wouldn't be here at this point. Yeah, he was taking credit for the success where it wasn't due at all. He then wanted to be my agent and then wanted to split revenues 60-40 for 60 for him. That's how crazy he became. You asking for 49% was rough. Work on a deal that she should reimburse you your half of the expense and let her have the business in peace. And never ever say it's your business or our business. She's the creator, it's her business. Exactly. He's more like an employee. And the fact that, you know, with joint funds, maybe they only have a joint bank account. A lot of couples don't have personal bank accounts. But yeah. Ugh. Oh, I misread. I thought she said not the a-hole, but she said nah. And usually in these comments, they say NTA, not the a-hole, or YTA, you're the a-hole. You're the a-hole. You basically gave yourself 49% equity in her company as a surprise. Yeah, she never agreed to any of it or asked for it. You just took it upon yourself. In the process, you have probably sucked the joy out of her hobby and now use it as a means of control over her. Yeah, maybe just back off and provide only the assistance she asked for. Yeah, that would be a good option. If you're too pushy about being her business partner, she may no longer see you as the supportive partner you once were. Someone says, everyone sucks here, or possibly everyone's an idiot. This is the kind of thing you should talk through and come to an agreement on before anyone does it, rather than making it up as you go along. Yeah, but at the same time, for people who are new to business, it just starts off as something small and then you realize, hey, this might be something. You're the a-hole. You turned doing a nice thing for your wife into a hostile takeover, and then when you don't get your way, you try to pull the rug out from under her. Because you took on a bunch of tasks from her without talking to her ahead of time and asking and set all these expectations and demanded that she meet your expectations that you didn't discuss with her first. Seriously, dude, don't mix personal relationships with business. Yeah, that's my thought as well. Yeah. Any more thoughts? Okay. I'm seeing some comments from OP. Someone asks, you set up the store, but was it publicly available and functional when you presented it to her? Or was it locked behind something like a login until you had a business plan? And he commented, or they commented, the website was locked until she was ready to go public. She signed off on the launch. Well, Yeah, because at that point it was just, I don't know. I feel like he started inserting himself into the business after that. She did, this is the OP. She did not have the technical skills to set up shop and needed a little push to get started. She's thrilled with the online store and happy for my help. She's just protective of her vision. I viewed the business as a partnership, an extension of our marriage. She did not. Thanks to everyone's advice. Oh, okay. We have started having conversations about expectations going forward. I will happily follow her lead and adjust my contributions accordingly. That's a very good solution. I think, yeah, that has restored my faith in him a little bit. Yeah. Oh, see you, Chris. See you Monday. OP gives me ick feelings. Yeah. Until I read this last part, I was like, yeah. Okay, that's all of the stories that I have for you today. If you enjoy this and would like me to do more, please let me know. And I will try to find more stories. If you see any stories that you want me to read, please feel free to post them in a comment or send me the link on email or in my Instagram DMs or something. Oops, getting tangled with my yarn. I feel my shoulders. Right, okay. I have to go eat lunch and then do some work on the brioche pattern for Monday. So on Monday, we're doing a brioche workshop. It's this bag, the market bag. I'm debating calling it the banana bag because it's yellow on the outside and white on the inside. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think. I don't know. And it's also, you could use it for fruit, so it could be like, the banana bag, for anyway. Mel says, this was fun, but I'm rarely awake at this time. Oh, I'm so glad you could catch it, and who knows, I might do another time next time. Yeah, this was really fun. Okay. I want to thank you all for being here with me, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. I will be sharing stories of like Instagram stories, not these kind of stories. I will be sharing Instagram stories about the Scottish Yarn Festival, where I will be on Saturday. So if you follow me on Instagram, newleafdesigns.nl, this, but with the @ sign instead of W. Yeah. On Instagram, I will be sharing loads of things while I'm there. And yeah, thank you all so much for being here. And I hope to see you in another video. Bye-bye.